awesome intro.
What is up, you guys? I am Alan Hamilton, and this is my big ugly face. So, I don't know about you guys, but I started with MMORPGs. I know that Ultima Online was out before EverQuest, but I started in 1999 with vanilla EverQuest, which was magical. Like, I'd never played a game, and to this day, I still haven't played a game that has so much excitement and so much wonder attached to it as EverQuest does. EverQuest has had a profound effect on my family. My mom played it. It destroyed my parents' marriage. I'm just kidding. But it's funny because one day my brother decided that he was going to take a trip from Kellethan to Freeport. And when he was in Freeport, he ran into this human. And the human, who was a paladin, and was like, "Hey, do you know anywhere cool to hunt around here?" And my brother was like, "Yeah, well, we can go back to Crushbone. It's in Fadewar." So, to make a long story short, this paladin and my mother have been married in real life for over a decade. And I don't know maybe if you're not like a huge gamer, imagine being able to rewrite your favorite movie and do whatever you want with it. You know, maybe change the way certain characters act, maybe take things in a different direction. It's totally up to you. That is like everybody's dream, right? Well, I feel like that's kind of what the EverQuest Emulator has done. Anybody can start their own server. However, none of it is affiliated with Sony Online Entertainment, and you cannot charge because you don't have the rights to it, and you have to use legally obtained software. But it's just a lot of fun. You can do whatever you want with it. So when I finally got the idea in my head that I wanted to start my own server, it just was so exciting to me. Like, I just couldn't get it out of my head. So to make a long story short, I did it, and I kind of want to share with you something I've been working on. So my vision, this is Dragonscale Hills, and my vision for this zone, or for this server rather, is to kind of stay true to the old Velius world map, which I'm going to put on the screen like right now. Hopefully it fits. I don't know. Anyways, I kind of wanted to stay true to this map, and you'll notice that a lot of the newer zones that were added, especially with like the Secrets of Fadewar expansion, were on the classic map but weren't actually added until later. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to keep everything up through Velius, and I wanted to add those zones and make them level appropriate. And I figured I would just redo them from the ground up, keep like the old fun graphics. This is me, World Shaper Manadin Swiftfoot, the right hand of Tuner. Hopefully I'm saying that right. So here's kind of what I've done in Dragonscale Hills. So here are some haywire clockworks. This used to be orange grove as far as the eye could see. So whenever you attack them, let me repop, they'll just say random shit because they're, you know, going haywire. I think one of them is like, "I'm gonna rip you to shreds, but first, let me take a selfie." And there's really a lot that you can do. I haven't sat down and played EverQuest in a long time, but if you want to, it's free to play now. So check it out. I'll actually put a link in the description so you guys can go check it out and enjoy. You can still access most of the old content. I mean, they've redone a few zones. Oh god, the new Freeport's crap. But on my server, I like to keep the old Freeport. So I put some carrion fungus out here that you can kill. They have a very rare drop that you can turn into this little guy right here. Where did I get that name? I feel like I got that from somewhere. And I want to apologize if I have like the coffee jitters. I just drank an entire soup mug full of coffee, so. And of course, I'm a GM, so they won't attack, but they don't quite like me. And so over here, you can actually add And I know that a lot of people on the forums, the EverQuest Emulator forums, everybody's really helpful. I mean, they have such a good community. Like, it's solid. I love it. And a lot of people on the forums don't recommend that you use the doors table, which maybe I'll show you in another video. But you can actually place new objects like bandit tents. And I created a new faction. Let me see. I mean, they're gonna hate me anyways, but I'm a GM, so it doesn't matter. The Dark Star Sisterhood was actually a guild on Talon Zek when I first started, and I used to see them around all the time, and so I thought it'd be kind of cool to like pay tribute to them by creating, you know, a new faction for them. So that's kind of cool. And it connects, I wanted to use the old Steam font, so this connects to the old Steam font. Yeah, I have a little cave I'll show you later. There are some pathing conflicts that I do need to address. And this zone is not by any means finished. There's still a lot of loot tables, but I thought it would be cool to add a raid boss here, because this is like the perfect spot for it. So Frankengear's monster, and then I'm going to create Frankengear in this little cave. And it takes, I think I set it to anywhere between like a month, half a month to a month to spawn. You can actually have it spawn, it'll pick like a random spawn time, and I can show you how to do that in another video. This mostly I just wanted to show you what I've been doing with this, because I've just been having so much fun. So when I consider things, my character is level 65, which is the level cap on my server, so bear that in mind if you see anything that's like, yeah, Rickus Plagueheart, because he's light blue. So I wanted to do something really special with this tower. It was so cool. It looks really castery. I just invented a new word, you guys. So I decided to make it to create a new caster faction. I think it's like the Disciples of Drozzle Rowe, because she's the goddess of magic. So I thought, yeah, it's perfect. And I did enable new race and class combinations. So you're gonna be seeing some XR magicians, and you know, I just thought it'd be cool. I actually even created a new faction for them called the Azure Scales. I'm probably saying that wrong, because they didn't quite fit in perfectly. And then I do have a backstory for them. If you go to Kabilis, however the fuck you say. I don't know. See, in World of Warcraft, like, they tell you how to say it. You know, there's some spoken dialogue, and in EverQuest 2 there's spoken dialogue. You know how to say, because we were calling it Quenos for the longest time. We didn't know, we were kids. But anyways, in Kabilis, I actually have a little area where they start, and then you can actually go up to a historian who will give you a mini history lesson. So I wanted to try to keep, you know, stay pretty lore friendly. So since there's no Lucelyn on my server, I thought I'd place this guy here. How do I talk to him? Okay. Oh, okay. Totally forgot to scroll down. So since I'm a GM, I can use these GM items. And there he's selling to me. So they don't really trust anybody who's not a wizard, magician, or enchanter. So that's why he wouldn't sell to me. And I can change that if I want to. This is all custom. So I just cleaned out Dragonscale Hills, and I'm adding whatever the hell I want to it. It's really exciting. And yes, like I said, I did enable new race and class combinations, which is something you can do. And I just, you know, the thing that kind of like I'm kind of bummed about is, if you guys know, that on EverQuest 1, the robe, like, you know, not all races can wear robes. If some races wear robes, it's just they look like they're not wearing anything, and it can be tinted, which to me doesn't look good. But I'm sure that there's a way that you can actually put it into the game. You'd have to be really good at programming, and I should probably let you guys know I don't know anything about programming. I know very little, like the bare bone basics of Perl script, which is what most of the quests go off of, and I know a little teeny tiny bit about Lua, not enough to actually write a script. However, I have been able to write plenty of Perl scripts. So over here, I kind of wanted to, on live, this is, obviously there are spiders here, and then there's these flaming horses. I don't know why. And then over here is brownies. Well, I kind of wanted to take it in a different direction and introduce Bixies to Fedor. So this is now, on my server, a Bixie area. And it's all level appropriate. It's, you know, I think this is... I wanted to keep this from like 15 to 25, I think. And now I'm kind of undecided. Oh god, where is it? I'm gonna use my map. I'm kind of undecided about what I wanted to put over here. Originally, I actually was gonna put a boat from the Field of Bone to here, and that way Ixars could come here and wouldn't be stuck in Kunark, although Kunark is totally fucking awesome. But I decided to, because if you look, there's the Twilight Sea, like here's Otis, Twilight Sea, and then Fedor. So I was thinking like, okay, well I'll just make this an, you know, an erudite area. Well, that opened another can of worms, because if anybody knows the lore, there are two different factions of erudites. There is the erudites of Eridin. Once again, I really hope I'm saying that right. And then there are the heretics, who are like the necromancers. They worship Khazak-Thul, the god of fear. So I kind of got that going on. Like I said, this is not finished. This is just something I've been dicking around with. So this side, you know, we've got the Eridins of Erudite, and then on this side we've got the heretics. And they're not quite friends. So here I've got Alcabor, and periodically they'll sit here and argue. It's on a timer, but I don't feel like sitting here and waiting for it. Actually, I might be able to repop it. Let's see if they say it. Let's make sure I'm scrolled down. Yeah, here it is. And it's out of order. So, they're heretics. They've murdered our brothers and sisters. I cannot let that stand. You've murdered our brothers and sisters as well. What makes it so different when we fight back? This is in the right spot. So I thought that would be kind of a cool way to introduce the erudites to Fedor, since it is kind of in proximity to Fedor. If you look at the map, this map, you can kind of see what's going on, why I did that. So these spiders are actually invisible. I can see invisibility. They're dubious at first, but they're actually on the Bixie faction. So the Bixies, these are like their spiders. So let's see. Back over here, we've got more gnomes. I need to finish populating that. I don't know. I think I want to put some more haywire clockwork around. And I just kind of recycled some of the pathing from the classic. And then of course I got the, I wanted to keep the Minotaurs. They're actually super cool. I'm using the old models for practically everything, except for, I mean, obviously the Vashir, and the Froglock doesn't even have a low poly version. The Draken are not playable on my server. I didn't quite care for that race. However, I have been kicking around the idea of putting in a quest to where you can have your DNA spliced with dragon DNA and then therefore become a Draken, but that's definitely something for the future. But for the time being, you know, it's just everything up through the Froglock. So, God, I think that's everything in this zone. One thing that's very special to me is I had some really good friends. Well, we're still friends online, but I had some really good friends that I used to hunt with all the time. So I paid tribute by dropping their characters here as quest givers. I thought that's really special. So special. Yeah, so that's pretty much everything in this zone. So you'll notice two things that I said earlier. The Vashir are playable, but there is no Luceland. So where do they start? New Kara Ridge. And I know what you guys are thinking. Well, I want to go to the old Kara Ridge. Well, I'll show you that in a bit. So this is where they start. I really liked the Vashir, and lore-wise, they are Karen. So they're the way I kind of remedied that was they're Karen, but their clan is named Vashir. So they're the clan Vashir. So, ooh, that's really fast. The reason I'm moving so fast is GM speed. So if you run your own server, you'll likely find out what that is. So here's the some trainers. For some reason, this little corner always fucks me up. And then get pottery supplies. This was so gratifying. Like, I was fascinated with this zone. I remember when I first started, I was in Toxulia and somebody was like, hey, let's go to this cool new zone. So I'm like, okay. And he showed me to because if you know the anatomy of Toxulia Forest, there's like a kind of like a river. Kara Isle is actually an island, but the way the zone is set up, it looks like a river. So he takes me out there, and you can't see across, and he's like, let's just swim this way, and I'm thinking, what the hell? So we just go swimming. There's no maps at this point. This was in vanilla. And we finally get to the edge, and it was just so gratifying to explore because you would find new things, and it felt so rewarding. And so I've always been fascinated with this zone. And so it was really, really gratifying to be able to kind of do it my way. Just this entire server. So, for the most part, this is finished. There's really nothing in here. That's just... So, I kind of wanted to make this special. And also, I kind of want to tell my backstory for this. So, if you know, like I was saying earlier, the Eridans of... the Erudites from Erodin and the heretics are at odds with each other, and the heretics don't quite care for the Karens, and the Karens don't really care for them, although the Vashir can be Shadow Knights on my server, and they do start in Paniel, and they do worship Kazakh Thul, and it's just kind of like, you know, they defaulted. So, in here we have the guards, the matriarch, the paladin, warrior, cleric. I kind of made the cleric smaller. And then we've got the ambassador, and so she kind of sucks up. She's, you know, trying to like smooth things over because there's like a little bit of turmoil between them, and the Erudites really want the Vashir on their side, so they have more numbers against the heretics, because like I said, they don't like each other. And depending on what race you are, see, I'm a wood elf, and so she's, you know, kind of like rationalizing it. And then I think it's 130. Okay, so if I'm a Vashir, she'll say something different, and she'll actually offer a quest to where I can take this form to Eredin and apply for citizenship. So that's kind of cool. And then if, like, say... Now, if you wonder what those numbers mean, each race has an ID, and when I say race, I mean every fire beetles, elementals, minotaurs, they all have a race ID. And the EOC, which I'll cover in another video, has a fantastic system to help you figure out what it is. This is such a well-developed community. And then she's a bitch to you if you are a erudite, because she's like, yeah, don't fuck this up for us. So that's pretty cool. And so, yeah, that's the castle. So, like I was saying, you know, earlier when we got here, what happened to the old one? And So, I've just exited Kara Ridge, and, oh wow, there's a dock here now, and a raft. I thought I put other shit out here, but apparently I didn't. So, I've fucked this server up a few times, and I've had to start over from scratch. The whole database system, like I said, I don't have a background in programming. All of this I learned how to do just by being hands-on. There's not a lot of tutorials out there. There are tutorials for, you know, starting your own server, which will be linked in the description. But as far as like developing your server, there's not a lot out there. So if you guys want some tutorials, I can make them, but like I said, bear in mind, I don't know anything about programming. All of this I learned on the fly through lots and lots of trial and error. See, this is kind of a sharp, there we go. Yeah, that's kind of a sharp, but whatever. Shazda Assad, Karen Historian, and notice he's the old version. Ahoy, Wood Elf! I am Shazda Assad, a Karen Historian. Long before the Vashir tribe was established, Kara Isle was a much different place. Would you like to know more? And now we're entering Kara Isle. God, I hope I'm going the right way and I don't just zone back out. Alright, and here we are in the classic version. So, I mean, everything is totally preserved. I kept, this is exactly what you would have encountered in the classic one. The factions are different, so you can treat this exactly as you would the classic Kara Ridge. Die! Yeah, see? So that's really, really exciting. Or so I think. I could be a total loser. I am a total loser. So all of this is new. I put some leeches, poison dart frogs, some tropical wasps, some sand scarabs, and now over here I liked the gremlins, but I wanted to use them. So instead of this being a Karen area, this is pygmies. It's a tribe. And then down here I wanted to put some sirens in, just because this seems like a real siren-y area. And this is, on my server, this is about level 40. And they do drop some nice stuff. There are named, and these are enchanters, so you want to be careful. This server is locked for the time being because it's nowhere near finished. I'm the only one working on it, and I have other stuff that I'm working on too. Well, other stuff that I have to take care of. So I don't have a lot of time. This is the first time I've been on in a while. So obviously, because this is on Otis, this is an erudite area, and this is, I've just been dicking, I just started dicking around with this. So we've got some Fedor pilgrims and some merchants, and then, you know, out here we've got some more sirens. I guess I can turn GM speed back on. And then there's a named that pops in here periodically. And then this needs to be populated. Now, something kind of cool, I don't know if you guys remember this, the Oracle of Karnan. Now, back in the day, I remember like flipping out. I was like, saw somebody who's like level 1 with a robe of the Oracle, and I'm like, oh my god, that's like a level 50 robe. How do you have the robe of the Oracle? Well, if you kill the Oracle of Karnan, you lose faction with the Oracle of Karnan, but you gain faction with, I don't remember the name of the other oracle. And I googled it, and they never put them in. It was just kind of like a unfinished. So I decided to. The Oracle of Marud. So I took the liberty of putting them here. And so, yeah, like I said, this is not finished. This is not anywhere near being finished. This entire server is a work in progress. If I ever finish it, I'm the only person working on this. I've got other things I gotta take care of, so it probably won't be finished anytime soon, if at all. See, these need to be populated. What I was thinking of doing is putting some tents here, and then like a ghost ship here, and putting some of the heretic faction here, so then that way they can come here too and have a place that they can call their own and sell. So that's pretty much what I have right now. If you do want any tutorials, if you want me to show you how I did this, I am not a programmer, but I'd be happy to show you how I did it. I could be doing it wrong, but it seems like it's working. I've actually been able to add new spells. Let me show you guys this. This was something I've been working on. Druids have pretty shitty pets. They're about on par with shaman pets. They do cast their own pretty gimp damage shield, and they do proc a snare. So let me kind of show you them in action. This is, like I said, this is custom. This is something, and of course I did take their level 50 something pet out. Okay, yeah, it's being pierced by thorns. Now, I just used the regular druid, you know, their long term, which was kind of like weak to begin with, but and I think I made the levels pretty loyal to rangers as opposed to druid, so it is pretty weak. And it didn't proc the snare this time. I don't know. Let's attack something else. Let's attack something. Well, I'm not going to attack this guy. I just kind of was curious. Oh, the bearded dragon. Okay. These leeches, actually, they proc a health tap, or a life tap. Attack it, go kill it. Yeah, see, there it went. And the leech is still getting hit. Oh, there. Did you see it? Did you see the snare? He procced the snare. He's probably been doing that the whole time, I just didn't see it. And, yeah, it is a regular snare. It's not a high-level snare. I didn't want to make these pets too OP. I can always revisit them later. But I didn't want... Druids were always kind of like... I didn't want them to be dependent on their pets, so... That's about it. That's what I wanted to show you guys. Like I've said several times before, if you want me to make any tutorials, I'm not a programmer. I've learned through trial and error. I could be doing it wrong, but I can show you what I've been doing. There could be a better way out there, and if I do post these tutorials and somebody has any suggestions, of course, they're always welcome. I welcome your guys' input. And yeah, so that's kind of what I wanted to show you for the EQ Emu emulator. Stay tuned, subscribe, like, share if you have any friends who played EverQuest, if you have any friends who would be interested in trying any of the emulated servers out. They're really fun. There's a lot of really creative people in the EverQuest emulator community. Everybody on the forums is awesome. Acadius, who is, I think is one of the head guys, he's really good. Like, he's been really helpful. I had a few questions for him, and he always happy to oblige. So it's a great community, very creative, a great way to revisit an oldie but goodie. And of course, EverQuest is still live, so you can always try that out too. I don't particularly care for their latest expansions, so that's why it's kind of nice that I'm doing it my way. But maybe some of the newer players might not appreciate it as much as some of the older players, which is fine. You know, do what makes you happy. So thanks so much for watching. I'm posting this on Thanksgiving, so I hope you guys have a great Thanksgiving, and if this is like totally some other part of the year, whatever holiday is being celebrated, I hope it's happy. Have a good one.